All right, good afternoon, traders. Today's the last trading day of the month of August. All right, it's August 29th, 2025. My name is John Carignan. I am the lead instructor here at the BYOB Trading Room. It's a day trading service for the hit and run candlesticks family. All right. So today, not a big day, but if you caught the morning video, I said probably not going to be a big day for me today. Okay. Made 14K on 600. Okay, that's it. But that's 2%. Okay, my goal was $6,000, which would have been 1%. I made 14K, so I made 2%. So not a bad day at all. You too, Rally. Enjoy the extra day. All right. So again, thank you everybody out there in podcast land, digital land, cyber land. Thank you to all my subscribers. I don't take that for granted. All right, you guys are paying members, and I hope to, provide you with actionable, profitable content every single day. All right, even everybody out there in digital land. Special shout out to John Jordan, Bob Jordan, Kathy, Sarah Roasted, all for sharing my content. Way to get the word out there. I love that. Thank you for all the kind comments, the likes, the hearts, the follows, the subscriptions. Appreciate all of that. Thank you so much, and I'm honored. Thank you for joining me on my trading journey. All right, so that's where we are today. So what did the market do today? Okay, we're going to just kind of review what happened today. Okay, we had, actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to pull up John's game plan because he posts it every single day, and it's awesome, and that's what I really appreciate that. So here's John's game plan. All right, and you can see he's saying bullish above on the QQQ 575.56. As you can see, we never got there. Pivot, all right, 574.69. All we got there on the 10-minute chart or the 15-minute chart was a wick. All right, he's saying this is a sell entry. That would be puts, okay, below 573.79 right there, okay, below 573.79. So you got a three-wave. He's on a 15-minute chart, okay. You got a three-wave candle all the way down into, well, basically about 10:30. You can see right there. See the little cone at the bottom there, that little V. All right, that was the end of that move. All right, so you can see, and then we had another one right here at noon. But anyways, you can see here's price action. Comes down, and all it does is deliver a bear flag today, all day. Okay, so down and over to the right. Okay, now, if we take out this head, all right, that's where it starts to get interesting. All right, because then we could melt down even further. All right, so far the head is not decapitated on either QQQ or SPY, but here is a trade right here that was shared with you, everybody in the room. If you were a paying member and you were in the room, it was shared right there in the chat, in a picture right there with a diagram. Sell below 573.79, and look how that trade worked out. Here was first target, second target, third target right there, and fourth target way down here. Okay, so what do you know? All right, so that worked out. If all you had to do was follow the plan right there. Okay, just want to say that because John posts this every single day. All right, so if you're looking for a trade, check it out. Keep an eye on QQQ. He posts this every single. Let me just say, there was a time when I was not in a room and I was in somebody else's room, and John would post this every single day, and I made money off of John's chart. Okay, I was like in Rick's room, or in the free room, or in Doug's room. Okay, might have been an open house, might have been a week presentation, might have been a subscription, but John would post this, and I would make money every day with John's chart. Okay, and I love it, and I encourage him to share it in here with you guys. So if you go all the way up here to the top, you'll see, okay, right after my morning open, he usually posts at about 9 9:20, here it is, 9:22. Yeah, about 9:20. John shared the chart. Okay, so you could have traded it right there. All right, I'm just saying. I used to make money with it all the time when I was in the room with John. Just saying. All right, there's an opportunity right there that would have made you nice money with some directional puts. Okay. All right, so enough about that. Again, for the recordings, okay, if you're in the room, click the hamburger, all right? See the hamburger? Click the hamburger. Go to the archives. Hit recordings. Okay, this is yesterday's recording, all right? The morning open, and I think I got captured 4 hours of trading that day. Okay, here's another one. It's going to, once they're done rendering it, okay, this will be 5 hours of trading today. Okay, again, it was not much going on other than John's trade down and over to the right. Okay, I was looking for a bounce. I wanted the 10-minute uptrend over VWAP, but never manifested. All right, but this will be the one for today right here. So you'll find it. All you do is, if you want to watch it, come over here. You can either hit play. Okay, and you'll see it materialize. Or you can come over here, you can download it. All right? You can even full size it. All right? Just letting you know, if you want to see these videos, all right, they're probably going to be in here. All right? So, again, that's where you're going to find them. So I'll move this out of the way, and we'll look at the market. Okay, so SPY's getting...
All right, good morning, traders. Today is August 28th, 2025.
That. Okay, get rid of that. Okay, so here's our market. 10-minute, I'm on a 10-minute chart, SPY. 10-minute downtrend right underneath the base. This was a baseline breakout right here. Okay, so this would be the overnight action right here. Okay. So there is a green erases, there's a red erases green entry right here. Right as you break the base right through here, there's a move down to the purple line. Okay, that purple line was not there. It was actually earlier. It was they won't let me move it. It was over here anyways. Okay, but anyways, right down into the purple line. The purple line was much lower earlier. You guys saw it. All right, so there's price action, 10-minute downtrend. And then they pinned it there all day. Right here, they just pinned it and moved it to the right. That's all they did. After that, it was done. I said there's a chance that after the initial move that it's a Friday and it's a day before the 3-day week. It's the trading day before the 3-day weekend. We'll probably be dealing with the amateurs, the interns, everybody that's low on the totem pole, while all the senior executives and the veteran executives are off for a 4-day weekend. All right, so I got to tell you, it's pretty much what it is. All right, and then they pinned it, and I said Fridays are notorious after 1 o'clock for price to get pinned to a number and just stay there all day. Okay, so there's SPY. So pretty much what I said, there it is, 1 o'clock, pinned there all day long. 10-minute downtrend was the trade. That was it. I did not take it. I took it in the form of spreads. All right, taking so it had some bear call credit spreads, and that's it. That's all I traded right there, and I made 14K trading today. Okay, made CGC calls, made 180 right here. All right, trading some CGC calls. This is CGC. This moved up yesterday as price moved over to the right. Okay, so you can see up here, made 180 on the CGC calls. On some gold, all right, we caught this 10-minute uptrend. Okay, thanks to Brett. All right, caught that, and you can see I sold some gold, made $208 on some gold calls. bought them down here in that 10-minute uptrend, sold them into strength. And getting a little flip out. So this, I think that's an all-time high for gold right there. Pretty sure that is. Not positive, but I think so. Intel, we didn't do much with Intel today. Still waiting for that to find a base, find the bottom. 670 calls. All right. Got a pile of those. Again, I'm looking for the bullish bounce. It'll eventually get here. And I can be able to sell these into some strength. They're upside down right now. $152 on some 655 calls. 7 days till expiration. Again, buying the dip, selling the rally. Buying the dip, selling the rally. Right there, one of these for next week. So you can see I didn't capture these till afternoon. Right there. Okay. 1,000 on some QQQ calls. Okay. On the QQQ calls, looks like I had these short. All right. So I sold them short up here and then covered down here. All right. And then it went long, and I sold them into this, and I reloaded through here. Okay, reload through there. QQQ calls 590, 7 days till expiration. Just accumulated some of those right there. You can see I bought 500 there and 500 there. Okay, 348 on some 647 calls, 4 days till expiration. Right here. Bought the dip, looking for a rally back to VWAP and over it. Got partially back to VWAP, but didn't quite make enough. All right, so then I reloaded, did it again, reloaded, did it again, and reloaded, and I'm still holding on to those. So that was looking for price to actually get back up on, climb back up on VWAP and consolidate, show me a bullish move, but it never happened right there. $100 on some QQQ calls, 578. You can see on those, sold them short. All right, right here. So I made a quick $100 on those. Sold those short right there. 2,100 on some SPY 0 DTA 646 calls. Again, I was buying the dip for price to come back up, climb on top of VWAP. It never happened, but it did make its way back to VWAP. So I sold into strength, reloaded, sold into strength, reloaded, sold into strength. Looking for price to get back, climb back on VWAP, and hold that higher ground up there. Never happened for me, not today. But that's what I was looking for to happen today. So never quite happened. 180 on some 650 calls. Okay, so price action, bought the dip, sold the rally, and sold the rally, and you can see nothing left of those. All right, QQQ 650, 685 calls, lost $1,100. Okay, this was something that I used. Okay, on these Qs right here. Okay, lost $1,100 on those. So I used these in a call credit spread, and what I did was I sold these 574s. Okay, because I knew there was no way this was ever going to make it back to 2 cents, 3 cents, or 4 cents. So I sold these 574 calls right here, okay, to capture $1,200 on those. And I sold these QQQ calls here to capture $2,900 on those, okay. Made $6,900 on these 647 calls. Again, buying the dip, looking for that price to rally back to VWAP and above. It never happened. It just came down and went flat right there. All right, so there's SPY. Let's take this out of the way. You can see how I made the money today. All right, so let's pull this down. So, SPY. I'm not going to call this an uptrend or a downtrend. This is consolidation. Okay, so this is consolidation into the close. All right, that's all I'm going to call it. It's not an uptrend or a downtrend. It's just consolidation. You can see the waves. All right, just flat and over to the left, over to the right. Okay, on the 2-hour chart, we got to check this out. Okay, on the 2-hour chart, we have a downtrend on this 2-hour chart. Let's check out the other one. on the 2-hour chart. And on the other chart, yes, we have a downtrend. So we have the 3 EMA and the candle price action underneath the 8 EMA right here. So we have a downtrend here on SPY on the 2-hour. Okay, not much below the 17, still attached. And we hit this anchored VWAP, which actually belongs over there. Okay, so now you can see where price came down to this area and then bounced. It was in the support. Okay, like I said, if this decapitate the head right here, which is the inverse head and shoulders, that'd be the right here would be the left shoulder, right here would be the right shoulder. You can see if they decapitate the head, they void the bullish inverse head and shoulders pattern on SPY. Okay, that's what we got happening right now. All right, so there's SPY on the 2-hour downtrend. Okay, so let's take a look at the daily. Daily still in an uptrend. It's the pullback. Remember, we made a new all-time high yesterday. Lower high, lower low, closing inside bullish trap over the 17 EMA. Daily is still bullish. Weekly is still bullish. Monthly is still bullish. Okay, everything's still bullish. Curious what next month's going to deliver. All right, because we got some new money coming in, maybe at the beginning of the month in September. We'll see what happens. So there's SPY. Let's take a look at QQQ. All right, QQQ, we'll take a look at it on the 2-hour. 2-hour, same deal. 2-hour downtrend coming into the close. Daily chart still in an uptrend. Okay, we haven't made any lower lows yet. Okay, made a lower low, lower high on the candle, but not as far as the pivots go. Okay, so or the valleys and the peaks. Okay, so price action closing underneath a bullish trap and underneath the 17. On the weekly chart, still in an uptrend. On the monthly chart, still in an uptrend. Daily chart, still in an uptrend. Okay, you can see this with the quad lines. Still up at the top of quadrant 4. That's bullish. And we're still in an uptrend, both on QQQ and SPY. Even though we had these red days today, yes, we are still bullish. All right, let's take a look at IWM. All right, IWM put in a... Well, let's see what happens here. We got a high of 236.97. So we got an outside day, a higher high and a lower low. We're closing inside the bullish trap over the rising 17 EMA. Okay, we're still up here in quadrant 4. That's bullish, and we're still in an uptrend. IWM, Diamond Dow. Okay, got a lower high, lower low, closing inside over a bullish trap over the rising 17 at the top of quadrant 4. That's bullish, up there at the top of quadrant 4. And still in an uptrend right there. FNGU. All right, FNGU is our problem child today right here. Lower high, lower low, closing underneath the bullish trap and underneath the 17 EMA. Okay, bearish engulfing right there. FNGU. Still bullish. Still up here in the upper quadrant. Okay, still bullish. But in a downtrend that's not working. Okay. We got ourselves in a downtrend when we took out this low. We made ourselves a downtrend. Okay, so in a downtrend that's not moving down. Ever since we made the lower low, we moved up. All right, we pulled back and then we moved up again. So we're not making lower lows. We're actually just moving to the right. FNGU. So this is still in a big bull flag. It's a 2-month bull flag right there. Okay, so that's still bullish up there in quadrant 4. Look at it's holding the higher ground up there. Bullish. It's in a downtrend that's not working. All right, on the daily chart. There's FNGU. Take a look at our technicals. T2101. Okay, lost some breath today. Maybe the professionals went on a 4-day vacation or a 4-day weekend. Okay, we obviously lost some breath and some momentum today. Okay, as the breath comes down to where it was 4 days ago. Okay, not a good sign. All right, maybe they can keep ramping up. We'll see what happens. Okay, so lost some breath today in the market. Breath would be the wind in our sails. It would be the momentum of this uptrend. So we lost some momentum right there. T21.22. All right, we found our way back into, we were in the buy zone yesterday. Well, we found our way back into the overbought zone. We made an appearance inside the overbought zone at the beginning of the day, in the middle of the day, and here again at the end of the day. Okay, T21.22. Okay, waffling back and forth in the overbought zone and the buy zone right there. Okay, T21.23. Another new rally high right there. New rally high on the 15-minute chart. Bullish gap up. You wouldn't know it from the SPY, all right? But we got a bullish gap up. Like I said, FNGU was the problem child. Okay, so NYSE, everything gapped up. That's a bullish gap up. We held the higher ground. Notice the bears, again, for the fourth day in a row, couldn't fill the bullish gap. All right, incredible strength right up there. Just moving up and holding the higher ground, ending the day up here at a high. All right, that is T21.23 15-minute chart. Look at this melt up. Okay, that's a piece of work right there. Okay, all up over this 200 SMA. That's bullish. All right, and in an uptrend. 3-bar chart. Okay, 3-bar chart. I gotta say, I'll bet that's a new high right there. New all-time high made today. Okay, let's see what the high is. High right there is 639,899. Yeah, I can see daylight between these candles. $639,829, $639,827, $639,829, $639,818. Okay, so that is a new all-time high today in T21.23. Okay, that right there was brought to you by inflation. Okay, I know we all hate inflation because the consumer in us knows that it's going to cost us more for our goods and services, but the investor inside of us, that means more revenue for the companies that we buy and sell. Okay, so that means an expansion in price. All right, and hence there you got it right there today. New all-time high in T21.23. Okay, up over that 200 SMA. New all-time high. Okay, here's the dip. The bulls bought the dip and they took it to new highs. Okay, right there. T21.23. FNGU. This was the problem child. Okay, selling from the beginning of the day to the end of the day. Okay, they got under VWAP and they stayed under VWAP all day. Okay, again, they went up and they gave it up. So it's not bearish, it's just neutral in this area. But if we pan back here, that's a bullish right up there. That's bullish, holding that higher ground. Still up over the 200 SMA, so that's bullish. Just lost a lot of momentum today, and that was all due to the FNGU. Okay, on the 15-minute chart. So we made lower. So you got a low here. So we made lower lows. So this is in a downtrend. All right, but the chart is still bullish. All right, we're still up here in the upper quadrant. Okay, on the 15-minute. So FNGU is still bullish, but we got ourselves in a 15-minute downtrend. Okay, we'll take a look at silver and gold. GLD. All right, there's GLD putting in a Pretty sure that's a new all-time high. Yeah, that's a new all-time high. GLD makes a new all-time high today. Okay, just drop the mic. It doesn't get any better than that. Okay, it's up in a bullish flag. It's bullish. It's in an uptrend, and it's making a new all-time high. Silver's at 12-year highs. Silver makes a new all-time high today as well. Precious metals kicking it off for next month. All right, silver, new all-time high. UNG put in another bull day. All right, higher low, higher high, closing over a bullish trap over the 17 EMA, and looking good, but just bouncing really. Okay, right here on bottom of quadrant 4, quadrant 1, that's bearish, still in a downtrend. And USO is still neutral, all right, and still in a downtrend. That's it for me for today, all right, traders. I hope you all had a good day. I told you it's going to be a rough day because it was Friday and they were probably going to pin it to a number, all right. So I'll take two daily goals. That's good for me for today. Y'all enjoy the extra day off. I'll see y'all on Tuesday when you get back. Thank you so much. Everybody have a beautiful evening.